today, I want to tell you, Obasanjo, many people are in love with him. Many people are in hatred with him. But one thing they don't remember is that Obasanjo has his own ideas. And those who go close to Obasanjo will agree that if Obasanjo lives to see the good changes, it is better for Nigeria because of the experience he has acquired over the years. The most unfortunate thing is that most of the people involved have their families and their stocks kept out of this country. You see, our major problem is that we rely on foreign powers, which should not be so, because they are the people that encourage all this corruption and all these bad things that is happening. Because we carry the money to them, they keep it. They share it with the corrupt ones, and then the young ones goes there to adopt the system of the foreign ones, those who we rely upon as those leading us to encourage us to be better. But they are worse. Just August this last year, I escaped death because my kidney was removed. When they were even afraid at my age of 80-something to come and do surgery of kidney. And I told them I would survive it. And I did survive it. It was done 3 hours. And the second day, I was on my feet.
Well, it's another very beautiful, lovely moment today in the city of Lagos as we meet a very, very dynamic personality, a man of the news, and a man who has contributed to the body of journalism in Nigeria and in Africa, a man who has also contributed to the body of politics in Nigeria, and in the spheres of influence is also public relations. He is a man that is very uncommon in his own presentation, a man that does his own thing in his own way, an impeccable achiever, a Yoruba man, a thinker, a doer, a philosopher king. Well, we've met him almost 11-12 months ago, and for some certain reason, all through last year, we tried to reach him back again when a particular issue broke out, especially as regards his historical town in Osun State, Nigeria, Southwest. And unfortunately, we couldn't just meet him. And all through last December, we also tried our best, but it was busy. He came in from UK, from the United Kingdom, after spending roughly 6 months. We thank God for his life. He is a great man, a philanthropist, a politician, a publisher, an elder statesman. We are in the presence of High Chief Abiola Omokpenu Adeniyi Ogundokun, the OBANLA of Iwo Kingdom. He is a man that you would love to hear from. Daddy, we are very privileged, we are very honored to be with you today, Thursday, 14th of January, year 2021. It's been a long time we've been trying to reach out to you, and last week we got a signal that you are going to be around, but on our way here we learned that you have changed your schedule. Your aide said you had another meeting somewhere in Oyo State until yesterday. I think day before yesterday, when we got the signal you're going to be in town yesterday, and by the time we got the last signal, it was almost evening. And when we came this morning, it has been from one activity to the other. But let's start by asking you that. How do you feel? This is a brand new year, 2021. What is your perception? Especially as regard what happened last year. A year that was a year of terrific happenstances. A year a lot of people lost their life, lost their businesses. A year the world was in a turmoil. Now we're in 2021. How will you review last year? And what do you think 2021 have for us, sir?
I sincerely want to thank you very much. And I want to thank God for his mercies over you before I come to his mercies over me. You started this program of talking to people, highlighting events, and making the public understand the need to be just and right in what they do. I thank God that what you started is being copied by so many professional colleagues. Even
thank you, sir.
Senior ones, we would think should rest on what they were doing before I've jumped into wanting to share the legacy that you have established. I pray that God should continue to enrich, progress you,
amen, sir,
and make it work for you,
amen, sir,
to gain of all your efforts in the land of our black race.
amen, sir. Amen, sir.
I thank God for sparing my life, but because I've been away for over a year, not just 6 months. God wanted me to see more of him, as he has always done to me. I went for surgery in England. What people thought would not be possible, God made it very simple, and I didn't feel any pain when my kidney was removed. And now I'm a very strong man. I will say I will compete favorably with young boys who never had the kind of...
That's interesting, sir.
It is unfortunate that blackmail, oppression, dishonesty, and selfish interest has taken over the mantle of our life, which should not be so. And in our society, nobody is well, because it's not well with people, and people don't see anything good in anybody. Both the good and the bad are counted to be bad. And it is only when we learn to know that some people are doing something that we will encourage them to change and do better, so that those who are doing bad will learn from the change of the good ones. It is unfortunate that we cry, our leaders are bad, our leaders are bad. Who is that leader? Who are the leaders? Is it the aged one or the young ones? Because when you see the young ones join the old ones, you see the young ones even scrambling to make money rather than preaching and executing their preaches. You see, when the man said this one is bad, and they put in there, and it does what the elder statesman or elders have done, Then they've joined each other, so they keep ruining Nigeria. Look at how many young ones are made ministers or given very responsible positions. They come back to become very, very rich people. I thank God that people like us that we have climbed through the ladder and reached this stage, nobody can tag us as ever shared one kobo illegally for holding position or anything. After all, I don't even take such money. My own income is paid to my community. What I want to say in essence is that we have to learn from the experience of the old and put the experience of the young together, sit down out of, forgetting and trying to destroy what they call personal animosity.
Personal animosity?
Animosity. This is the major thing that is happening. And you see, selfish interest has really climbed highest, nearly to the roof of heaven. And what is that? Everybody wants to be the same thing. Everybody wants to be president, everybody wants to be vice president. And when you run and you don't get him, you run after destruction and wanting to destroy him. I don't see what is wrong in us coming together and talk. You see, today I want to tell you, Obasanjo, many people are in love with him, many people are in hatred with him, but one thing they don't remember is that Obasanjo has his own ideas. And those who go close to Obasanjo will agree that if Obasanjo lives to see the good changes, it is better for Nigeria because of the experience he has acquired over the years. Now, it is so sad we lost a lot of people in our society because we have refused to manage our affairs sincerely, honestly, and working united as a team. Every opportunity given to every Nigerian, go and buy drugs for Nigeria. They give them 1 billion. They won't buy $500 million. Where does the difference go? These are the kind of thing, and nobody, the conscience, the feeling, I am Mr. Conscience, which guides my action and my statements in life, and nobody can fault whatever I say. I fought lions. I dealt with lions. This is, you know my story with so many of them. I fought Wale, even my good friend Saraki. I have to confront him because I want justice in the society.
Before we even go back to justice, really in society, you are Mr. Conscience because the name of your publication is Conscience International Magazine. Talking about conscience, when you were in London last year and you saw what happened in the country, the turmoil of the EndSARS protests, where the young people came out and they gave a lot of backlash to people of your age and they term you disgraceful. They call you all sort of names that you people are thieves, that you ruined the country, that you didn't use your good age to ameliorate the problem of the young people. And you also saw the way the politicians misbehave and mismanage amenities that were given to them to relegate the poverty of the poor people. You saw how people broke into big houses and took palliatives that were meant for COVID-19 experience, which happened between March. All this time you were in London, you know what happened. In fact, some people, there were robbery in most of the neighborhood. People couldn't sleep in the night. And before we knew it, by the end of the year, there was EndSARS. What did your conscience tell you about people of your generation? Were you afraid, and did you think that you people have messed up?
I am not afraid. I've often said it that there will be a revolution in Nigeria. The revolution has come just knocking the door. When it finally arrives, many people will not sleep in their bedroom. The most unfortunate thing is that most of the people involved have their families and their stocks kept out of this country. You see, our major problem is that we rely on foreign powers, which should not be so, because they are the people that encourage all this corruption and all these bad things that is happening. Because we carry the money to them, they keep it. They share it with the corrupt ones, and then the young ones goes there to adopt the system of the foreign ones, those who we rely upon as those leading us to encourage us to be better. But they are worse. If they are not worse, how on earth will Switzerland, England, America keep those stolen money? Why have they not come out and said, we saw this money, take it back, Nigeria? Rather, they will negotiate to take part of it, even if they allow it to come back at all. So we should stop listening to foreign countries. Let them practice it in their own country so that we can emulate, because we are not learning anything from there. They are worse. America is worse correct than Nigeria. England was corrupt by Nigeria. Switzerland that is keeping our money. How can you use anything happening there as a good example for us to copy? So, first of all, we will have what you have domestic orientation, discipline. What I will say, godliness, that we are serving God and do to others what you want others to do to you. Look at members of the House of Representatives, House of Assembly, Senate. You get there poor people who have no money to buy slippers. Some of them buy a shoe of 200,000 pounds. So what we have to do first is for us to put our heads together, serve God, put God in our heart. When we do that, now I believe because I serve God, I've escaped many, many deaths. I escaped death of Abiola's election. I escaped another debt on Iwo, Oshogbo some years ago when they had about 42 people with AK-47 against me, and God saved me. Now, just August this last year, I escaped death because my kidney was removed when they were even afraid at my age of 80-something to come and do surgery of kidney. And I told them I would survive it, and I did survive it. It was done 3 hours, and the second day I was on my feet. Now I have one kidney, and I am as strong as anything. Don't think evil of your fellow human being. If you cannot meet him, catch him, reconcile with him, understand him. For example, there are so many things. What is not your business, don't put your hand. Like somebody is contesting the election. You have the power to install him, but don't install him through bribery and corruption. Let somebody sail through the system and get liked by the society. When he gets there, he'll be happy. Then the society will have enough opportunity to guide him and speak to him. Because if you collect money from somebody who wants to contest his election, he will go there to steal in order to cover up the money he borrowed to contest that election. So I thank God I've contested many elections. I've never lost one in my life. God has always protected me, directed me, and I win. And when I go to court with people, I win. And I have nobody in the court. Now, for example, I have about 7 cases against Oluwo that was first on town. And I've won 6 good rulings and judgments against him. He has gone to appeal court. He will never win anyone. He boasts that the vice president will help him to win illegally and unjustly. But that is not possible with Ogundokun. We fight the vice president if he dare go to fight for Oluwo.
Even being a professor of law, sir.
Yes, that's what Oluwo tells everybody.
Vice President Osibajo.
And that is why he has made him a chief in Iwo, honorary chief. The first day Osibajo entered the Iwo Palace, that was the day it was made. Osibajo didn't come fast for him, but Oluwo thought he could use that as a bait to
capture the gentleman.
He do that. Osibajo is a gentle, quiet man. I know him. We are both members of the Yoruba Unity Forum, but he must not try it, because if he tries it, he will be dented like a tortoise. So I appeal to him not to take the part of Oluwo and destroy his good image. To say further, do to others what you want others to do to you. There will be no peace until we learn to be just and right and do justice to every person on our way. And we should stop clamoring to become millionaire, billionaire, or anything, whatever. Once you can feed yourself. Now, I mean, I'm here. I don't have money to or anything I have. I give it to people. I don't keep money. I never go to my hometown. I just, on the 24th of December, I gave money to my community, what I had left. Every blind man took 10,000 naira, and the opposed, the widows, I gave them money. The maimed and the oppressed, I gave them money, and I'm now broke. But money is going to come. My farm was burnt, but I am happy that some of the things there are not totally burnt. My cassava plantation, I just made some gari. and which I distributed to people. Give to the masses what you have. Don't take it all, even though they didn't support you to get it.
Let me ask you this question, because I have been to your house in Iwo at least 2 times in my life. I think it started in 2006. Sometimes ago, I came to visit you when we were trying to investigate the story. And every time in the morning, I discovered that you just wake up, you have a nylon bag in front of you, and there's money inside, full with money. And this person comes in, you give him 3,000. That person comes, you give 5,000. Another one comes to tell you that I want to do his GC or whatever. You give them money. This one comes to tell you that she wants to start a business. You give them money, and until the money finish in the nylon bag. And I keep wondering, what's the meaning of that? Because a lot of people will now say, is there any spiritual thing that you are using to do, or is this just genuine from your heart? Because the society we find ourselves now, there are people that give money. That people think that they use the money to take glory from people, but there are also people of your own old order who deliberately do it genuinely. So what's the purpose of you taking out your money to give to people to the extent of even being broke?
My mother spoilt me. My mother was a good money produce merchant in Iwo. She sells cocoa, palm fruits, and tobacco. She made money. I saw her. A lot of people see her money, even when she's there, they didn't come to pay. And as I was going, I was making money. I charted my own way of living, and God answered me. What I discovered is that there are so many people suffering, and I believe that if we keep them out of that situation, there will be less crimes in the society. So I decided, okay, for example, I faced death many times, facing the robbers and so on and so forth. I face them, but they don't get me killed. I get them destroyed many, many, many times. I am no God, but God sees what I do, and He's been compensating me through this protection. I don't care how much I have. I spend everything. I'm talking to you now. I don't have 100,000.
Can you imagine? I can't, because I'm surprised.
I swear. As if I have very serious visitors today, I'm going to withdraw whatever I have to entertain those that may be coming today. Though I have things to sell to make money, I put some out on sale. They say, but the money is never finishing. I always have God doing something surprisingly to me that will bring me some income. I have just come back from a major operation. I expect friends to stand up to support me, but nobody believes I get broke sometimes. But I will never be broke.
Because I heard you, sorry sir, I heard you the that time before we started this. Someone was calling you, and he was saying, Tebati wa niwu, no new, and you were telling the parents that oh yeah, count your no more for me. I may say, no, and I was wondering, why is all these people thinking about Ogundokun spending money all the time?
It's been part of life. How many people have I sent to Saudi Arabia for holy pilgrimage? How many people have I sent to Jerusalem? How many people have I paid their children's school fees? Okay, for example, Oluwo, for example, spent nearly up to 100 million because of his problems. I built for him. I built a new local government council secretariat.
I was aware that I think city people cover.
Yes. Aregbe came to do it. And he has never done anything. He goes to destroy and say rubbish. Yesterday, he was said to have attempted to beat one of our very major stakeholders of Iwo town, who is a very senior political juggernaut.
Maybe Oluwo wanted to beat him physically.
Today he rose up from.
I believe this. Sir.
He rose up from his seat, and I was told, I've been able to speak to one of the parties, that Oluwo rose up and abused his father. You don't abuse somebody's father when your father was nothing. His father has been responsible for a lot of criminal activities, like trying to snatch people's property, and they only have to get their properties back from court. His father.
That's Oluwo's father.
Oluwo's father, Kola Kambi. And
that's his reputation.
His father has made an attempt to steal 2 buildings from 2 different people.
In those days?
In those days. Not too long. How many years ago his father died? And so what do you expect? I am very sorry for him. I took him when Aregbe introduced him. that I should help them to finance and help him 4 days before he was installed. I took it as a responsibility in Iwo land that I don't know who else can do the spending I do to help people. If anybody is in Iwo that does that, let them come out and let us face and see what we have done for Iwo in order to justify who actually helps the community. And I'm still doing it. What I am saying in essence is that I will use this medium to appeal to Oluwo to change and move nearer to God instead of blackmail and the technical destruction of valuable people. Is it fair for Oluwo to beat Oluwo? Is it fair for him to beat Rondo Rondo? Is it fair for him to beat Kabisa Jagase? Is it fair yesterday for him to rise from his seat to challenge, I want to beat another senior politician in Iwo because he was speaking the truth? You should not use blackmail to destroy people. If you tell lies, somebody will come out to speak the truth and defeat you. That's why I am winning all the cases in court. I want to beg him to help you, not to employ people. He went and employed Esabod in England. I didn't know until I got to London. People started fighting Esabod. They carried a masquerade to scare Esabod.
You mean that woman called Toguma Boderi?
Yes.
I was even coming to her issue because I was surprised last year when people told me, because I learned that they called you and she told you that she's my friend, that she has spoken with me.
Yes, she told me you are his friend because she had to get me.
Yeah, because I don't know her, honestly. The only time I spoke with her was maybe last after the whole issue started. One person connected me, one DNK, put me on the 3-course line. I didn't say anything to her. I've always observed her. When she says the truth, I applaud her. And when she starts to misbehave at times, I distance myself. I don't have any relationship with her. And when they said she now used my name to get the attention of Chief Ogundokun, I tried all my possible last year to get you, but unfortunately I couldn't even lay my hand on your UK number, and it was embarrassing, sir.
Anybody will get at me once your name is mentioned because of your credibility. And she talked to me, she struggled. I was on the program when she even quarreled with the person who handled the program. The man has even confided and openly said that she went to the extent of coming to meet him at a party just for my number. That recording of that confession with Lady Maureen.
Okay, the Princess Maureen Badijo.
Yeah, she has it because when I was being told, I got her attention to it. Well, I have made a mistake to have just merely hearing your name responded to her approach. If she didn't mention you, I will not respond to her approach. And she's a master liar. She's very good at it. When she talks, you will want to believe her. But God is supreme to everybody's position in life, whether you're telling the truth or you are lying. But those who tell lies will be punished at the end of the day by God, because it is dangerous to keep thinking that you will survive a situation when you are lying. It's like my traditional ruler. I spend a lot of money on him. I don't want him destroyed. I want him to change. I want him to change. And God, he should just stop all those informations that came out of his wife, because the wife cannot see anything different to what she has seen, and we have seen it in his behavior.
Sorry, sir, for cutting you short here. I'm very, very sorry, because last year also, when we got his wife, it was a miracle that I got his wife, and all through that moment, sir, we were trying to reach you in London, but we didn't know particularly where you are. Some people say you were in Hampstead, some say you were in Peckham, and at the time we were even hearing that you flew into Scotland, and I mean, it was a confusing situation. But when you saw and you heard all what the Olori said, because I was able to trace her to an estate in Lagos through some other people who are very concerned about her situation at the time, and even though she told me publicly that you really helped her when she delivered in Canada, that you gave her 1 million, that the husband has been so nasty to her, and we had a lot of very horrible story, and she told me a lot of other things, and I was surprised that you could go to that length to help them to stabilize the family. But when you heard the story eventually after your operation, how did you feel when we interviewed her?
I felt bad, But at the same time, as an elder statesman, holding several chieftaincy titles that has to do with peace and progress, what I do is that the heir is human, and my own is I should believe to make sure that we do some changes in his life, and maybe by making him to change. Judas Iscariot did what he did, what Jesus did to him. So Oluwo has done a lot of damages that's not been effective enough for me to really say I must take his head. So whatever I can do to change his life, I'm still on the same thing. Only 5 days ago, all the traditional rulers in the whole land were in my house to plead for him. And I've given them my word that I'm not going to do anything against it. But I'm surprised after they want us to not to do any case with him in the law court. But this is the man that they want us to withdraw cases against. But he's still doing dangerous things against people. I've given them my condition. The Aleva, that's Elijah Adio, should have his position restored because he didn't do anything, all because he asked him to go and get rid of me and get me sacked as Basharon Musulumi of Iwo land, and also to remove me as a member of the board of trustees. You mean
is he pursuing those kind of nonsensical adventures?
He is very much destructive day by day. If not, he ought not to have rise up to challenge Debo Badru to a physical combat yesterday in Iwo. Yesterday.
Okay, you're actually talking about Honorable Debo Badru. I think I heard something about it in the news. Okay.
That gentleman, he's been a long-time politician, was very close to Serubawan. As a matter of fact, he was instrumental to Serubawan's success. Because I remember when Serubawan was made first governor, he himself and my friend convinced me to get Adeleke to be the first governor. SOB Babalola and him, they were the people who convinced that made me to really turn all my supporters behind Adeleke, and the members of the House of Assembly voted for Adeleke to be against our friend in Ikirun. He was the same man who convinced me with Oyinlola to take the Senate from the former senator and give it to Adeleke. I did it.
So that Oyinlola can become governor?
So that Oyinlola will not be driven out by. Well, we all decided to support our senator then, but Oyinlola, fearing the possible defeat, begged us. And I did the job when others were against, and God answered my prayer. Today, I got nothing from it, but God is always keeping me afloat, so that I thank God nobody can boast and say I've done this for Oluwo Ogundokun, but I can boast to say that I made them.
Politically,
I made it. I made them. And Demola, who is contesting for PDP now, knows that I'm a father to all of them, and that I made his brother, and he also is a good boy to me. He's been talking me into please support us. But again, let me tell you, this young man, this good man who is our governor in Osun, is a good material. He's very honest, gentle, educated, and godly.
Are you talking of His Excellency Gboyega Oyetola?
Yeah, he's a gentleman.
Surprise.
He's a gentleman.
You mean he's a very good leader?
He's very, very gentle. He's not one of those hustlers, or he's not one of those who are just looking for money. You will see it in him, in his appearance, in whatever I just discovered that he was so successful in business, was so rich also. The only one I know is Tinubu isn't close to me. This governor is closer to me. I've seen Tinubu maybe 3 times since this governor. Meeting in a public place, not meeting anywhere. But this governor is a man to be respected, the man to be honored, a man to be supported for progress. If Osun is not talking about selfish tribal sentiments, I think he's a very good man. I can vouch for him.
Sorry, sir. With total honor, sir, I want to put it to you, and I want to beg you, because this is what I think a lot of people feel about the governor. First and foremost, they feel that he's a puppet of Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is by the side. And secondly, they also feel that someone like the Oluwo, who has a lot of bad reputation and whose reputation is inflicting negatively or is going negative on the state, that he should be able to do something. Of course, we knew that from even the interview I had with the Olori, I remember, sir, and I don't know if anybody called your attention to that part. The Olori told me that the Oluwo didn't vote for APC, and it was that Adeoti of I think is it SDP or DPP, one of the other party that he voted for, and he made them to even take oaths to vote for that party. So why is Governor Oyetola looking so? Why is he indifferent to the issue of Iwo, which is your own town?
You see, Oyetola is a complete gentleman. He doesn't like trouble. I think he fears Oluwo instigating public disturbance. And he doesn't like anything that is problem. There was just 2 months ago, I went and threatened him. I was going to take him to court for not taking action on Oluwo's misdemeanor. When he ended by telling me, Baba, I'm not afraid. Remember, if you take me to court, I'm not spending my money. The government is going to pay, they're going to provide. But you, Baba, we've done nothing for you. You're going to use your money to fight me, to take me to court. But believe me, we are working and you'll be happy. That is so. But I don't want anybody to say I've done this. It's not like he's happy with it. He's not happy. But now that Oluwo is still biting him hard, I hope he will take appropriate action by responding to the popular wish of the community, and look at their petitions. And the behavior of Oluwo, enough is enough. And I can promise you that if our governor fails to do appropriate justice, I may be forced to do what I think as an elder I should not do. That is going to court. I know how to go to court and win. And there is no way the governor can escape my war when it comes to going to court. Yeah, he has the ministry, but he cannot control the law. So I only want to plead with the governor to allow all the petitions before him investigated and allow the court to work on it. But he may have some reasons. Maybe they didn't push it to his table. But now I think he should be tired of all the rubbish that is happening. Like what happened yesterday, Oluwo stood up to fight a good citizen, Badru. He has just recently beaten Agbowu. After he has beaten the Oluwo of Iwo, after all the rubbish he did to me, for me, I want to forgive Oluwo. They have come to me, and even last week they came to beg. I have the recording here. I have the photograph of all the 8 traditional rulers in Iwo local government, excluding Oluwo and Ayedire, begging me. I have given them my words that I have looked at my expenses of Oluwo. I would not like it destroyed. They should just have to Oluwo to change. That's what they are begging for.
But sir, I'm embarrassed that you are saying this to us, sir, that they are begging you for what? I mean, we're talking about reputation of the town.
I've given them the conditions.
Sir, we're talking about reputation of your town. I mean, you represent the goodwill of this town, and a lot of other eminent Nigerians who came from Oluwo. I remember there's one barrister Tonda who is very prominent in UK, one of the leading lawyers, and you, Chief Asabe Afrika, and some other very prominent name that came out from Iwo. So how do you juxtapose this with a kind of a renegade who is always in the news for all the wrong reason? Either he's dancing. I'm sure that you are aware that he threw banger this last, is it December 25?
Yeah.
Okay, they say it was, I saw a video where he was throwing the banger himself.
Yeah, and he was carrying a big some large crowd of thugs and so forth, jumping in the night. I have it, they sent it to me. I think...
is that kingly, sir?
It's very disgraceful. It's unkingly. As a matter of fact, Oluwo deserves immediate removal if the government is not fighting the community. The governor should know that any further delay is helping to promote bad image for Iwo. So if he cannot get Oluwo to stop, what has the Oba of Akure done that Oluwo has not done? Or the Oba of Kano, what has he done? Emir of Kano, that warranted his removal that Oluwo has not double done. You see all the accusation of sleeping with a juvenile and well, I think Oluwo should just go and change. I am not his supporter, and if they remove him, I will jump and dance because I'm no longer going to beg for him. I was begging up to last week, but for what I had yesterday, I think enough is enough. For him to ever dare to stand up from the seat to fight a political leader like Debo, I think it has come to an end.
So, but I read is it Sunday edition May 7, that's 2018 I think, of the Punch, where you also said he wanted to beat you in front of Aregbesola, that he stood up, he wanted to give you a blow. I think I have the copy in my library.
Oh, yes.
So is it in his DNA to be giving people blow and to be decking people with it?
Oh yes. He has done it before Aregbe. He has tried it even before the...
How did you feel that day when he wanted to deck you, sir?
I feel too bad. You see, I would expect Aregbe to order immediate probe or remove him because he witnessed it. He witnessed it. You know, like...
As a governor there?
As a governor. And it's Aregbe that called us for talks. He did it. Aregbe, you know, I will not blame him. He got himself entangled in a very serious condition. I want to tell you the reason that compelled Aregbe to support and made him the Oba. When you hear it, you equally support Aregbe. I did not support the Oba. I helped Aregbe to stabilize him after he has already pronounced him as the Oba of Iwo. Aregbe was trying to do something to correct and bring peace. And if you hear the truth from Aregbe, you will not blame Aregbe. You won't blame him.
A lot of people were angry with the governor Aregbesola then, even up to now. How did he allow this kind of...
He didn't know him before he accepted the help. Like 4 days before he was installed, Aregbe discussed with me, and he told me he was making him the Oba, and sought for my assistance, which I pumped a lot of money, was giving him salary, Oluwo, some months 250,000, some $500,000. I bought him dresses. I built a local government secretariat and built it in his name, donated it to the community. But what has he done? He boasts what he doesn't do.
From what we learned when he was using that Esabod woman in Dublin or somewhere like that, what he was trying to say, the woman was saying some allegation like, that you got angry with him because he was not joining you to sell some uranium or some natural resources in the wood. And that's true that he also made some very horrible allegation that you are sleeping with his wife. I mean, that was unheard for. What Esabod was saying, that we felt that the one who was paying the piper was the one trying to dictate the tune.
Well,